I studied this sketch carefully, and it actually intimidated me to have so many photos in such a configuration that I felt I would not find photos to work with this. And now we're starting sketch 4 for August 2025. I'm going to make a base page. Then I asked, what do I need for papers? And essentially what I saw was a band on the left and a band on the right. And this band was 8 inches wide, and this band was 4 inches wide. And so one 12-inch sheet of paper would give me all the width that I needed. So I'm mentally taking my sketch and folding it in like this, temporarily. And I see a 12 by 12. I see a 12 by 12 with 3 bands. And it looks to me like there's just one band across the middle. So that's the way I'm going to begin working on this sketch. And that makes it super fast. I went into my scraps and found this piece of paper. I think it's from the Gem Tones collection, but it's been used before. And this, my final sheet of a collection called Burlap. And I'm going to use this side. So all I have to do is cut down this paper to be 4 inches wide. And this is basically the layout. We'll split it into 2 pieces, but I'll first adhere this. So before I cut my paper, I want to discuss this layout and how I envision it getting used. I don't have photos for it right now, so I had to ask myself, what type of photos might I put on a page like this? Because I was trying to choose papers. I feel that these papers are neutral enough that I could put any photos in any subject and they will look nice. Neutral and neutral. But this background paper has enough interest that it's not just plain white. But this is the type of sketch and design that could be done with solid colors. Next, I look at the sketch, and it calls for horizontal photos that are matted in 6x4 mats. And then on this side, it has photos that have been trimmed to be 3.5 by 5.5, which is essentially slightly smaller than 4x6. But I know myself to be a 4x6 photo scrapbooker. And so why would I trim a photo if I don't need to? I would much prefer more space over here. And the same goes for here. These photos have been trimmed. And so I'm going to stick with the sizes that I know I use and will most likely use. I don't need 8 inches to put a 6-inch photo on this side. And I could use a little more space here. So I'm going to cut this, instead of at 8 inches across, I'm going to cut it at 7. I'll add an inch here, which will give me enough breathing room to put a full 4-inch photo there if I choose. And I'll have enough room over here still to put a 6-inch photo without needing a whole 2 inches to mat on the side. So I'm changing my cut. The sketch instructions call for an 8-inch wide piece on the left. I've decided I only want a 7-inch wide piece on the left. So I'm going to cut this at 7. Here are our 2 cut pieces. I'm going to lay the 7-inch wide on the left and the 5-inch wide on the right. I may put this into an album that has the jeeping, but I'm putting it on white cardstock right now. Now that we have our pattern papers on our white background, we just need to put border strips along here. I've chosen the square chain link border maker cartridge, and I will make 2 of these in black. And this is our layout using the square link chain border maker cartridge. A great base page layout. This is the configuration of photos that the sketch recommends. Notice I have extra room over here, but a little less room over here, and I cover up the border. However, I don't see myself using this layout in a configuration like this. And now let's see what I would do with 6x4 photos. This configuration of photos matches my own personal style a little bit better. I would have 6x4 photos here and here and here. I would have one vertical 4x6 photo and a 4x4 photo or journal spot here, and a 4x4 photo or journal spot here, and the 3x4 photo or journal spot here. However, this layout is versatile enough for a lot of photo configurations. You could have more or less of them. You could have larger photos or smaller photos. Well, some time has passed, but I found photos for this layout. I finished it off with several photos that I trimmed down. Here on the right, I had 2 photos. One was a longer shot of the same thing. So I decided to just use the oval cutter and cut out the longer shot. When I cut away, it did take away some of the context where the statue was placed, but I'm okay with that. Here on the left side of the layout, I placed a mat card. This is a variety mat card, and it is from the collection Hats Off. And I trimmed it down. It was 4.5 by 6.5. So I trimmed it down to 4x6. And it had a graduation cap on it, a mortarboard, and I didn't want that. So I covered up the mortarboard, and then I found the sticker from the Wanderlust collection saying vacation mode. So I just kind of made a little title over here. And then I brought in a little pop of color. This is a very grayscale layout. And so from Poolside Paradise, the sticker set, I pulled in these little drinks here and put one there. And now I have this layout ready to go into my album, and I'm happy about that.